it would become like a question of like, how much, like, what I think the OP thing would be to be if you were on that bronze team playing versus the solo, just leverage the objective, I think.
Yeah.
Think about it this way. Like if they immediately start capping point, you can't like kill them quite fast enough. I think that's a strategy there. Wasn't that something like J3 used to do?
Yeah,
have, like,
Jay was doing it with like you would do 1v5 and then you would boost the stats of the person.
Yeah.
It'll be GM versus like 5 silvers or whatever it was, but
Yeah. That would be real. That would be very interesting.
I think if it was team deathmatch, maybe it'd be a little bit easier. But if you do objective based, definitely is
objective based would be impossible. I think team deathmatch would definitely be. That's actually a good point. That'd be a big. Okay, well, here we go. Let me get your form pulled up here. I guess we'll just start with this. What got you interested in coaching?
So one of my buddies actually watches you more frequently, and he really likes your coaching style. And I started watching some of your videos as well, and it was nice. And then just figured that might as well just take the plunge and do it. I've been having like just overall general, not ranked anxiety, but just like that performance anxiety of trying to perform and be and make sure that I'm not the reason why the games are lost. And I fully admit that like the common denominator in all of my games is me. It's not the enemy team, or it's not like when I was making codes for this review, I did get a lever and an intentional AFK person. So it happens, but that's out of the 5 games I played, that was 1 game. And like, if continue to play more, it's not like that's the reason why I'm not stuck or anything like that. But I don't feel like I'm stuck. I feel like it's mainly me holding me back than anything else. So
sure. Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a tricky balance though, between taking responsibility versus beating yourself up too much.
Yeah.
Because ultimately the reason why you don't blame your teammates is distractions. You don't want any distractions, and vice versa. You don't want to put too much blame on yourself to the point to where you distract yourself from just doing what you need to do. Just show up, perform, go home, and then hopefully enjoy the process along the way as well.
Yeah.
Okay. How long have you been playing? No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
I would say, you can stream this too. I think it said it was live. So
yeah. So what I do is I record this as if I'm streaming, and then I post it on Spilo 2 afterwards, or Spilo coaching afterwards. So yeah, I used to do it back in the day. I would do 3 coaching sessions back to back, and then a replay review. So it was like 4 coaching sessions back to back live on stream. And it was terrible streaming because I had like no chat interactions, like 4 hours, right? So what I do is I record them like I'm streaming, but I'm giving you my full attention.
I got you. That's fine. I thought it was live, and I was like, okay. So I told some friends of mine, I was like, oh, he's gonna be live doing.
I'll have the live VOD sent to you on early Monday, so you can send it. They'll be able to see it. Yeah.
Okay, that works. I've been playing for, I think it's been a year. So I played Overwatch 1, but for like 40 hours, and that was about it.
Okay, makes sense.
I picked up. I think I played Overwatch 2 when it first came out. I can look at my account here and see.
Sure.
Like season 1, I didn't play any ranked. Season 2, I played mainly tank and DPS. I had 38 games played on tank. I was silver 5, and damage I was bronze 5. And then season 3, I hit plat, damage, gold 1 and tank and support. Then season 4 is plat everything. Season 5 plat everything. Season 6 didn't really play that much. Season 7 I hit diamond, and then season 8 I was diamond as well.
Interesting. It's interesting to me that like you make such like dramatic progress, and then obviously you hit diamond, and then obviously with rank reset, everyone's kind of gone down a little bit. So that's kind of like, we'll ignore that. But like you've had like almost a year, and you've kind of only managed to go from plat to diamond. Now I will say, the higher you climb, the harder it gets. But why do you think that you've not to say you've plateaued, but why has the growth slowed so much, considering how dramatically you improved?
I stopped playing comp as much during like the season. So I had like a goal. So I started playing ranked more seriously in like, let's see here, season 4 is where I hit my first time hitting, I guess, plat. I think season 4 was like plat 1, I think, or plat 2 is what I hit, and then season 5 I started playing less and less ranked and playing more just like just quick play casually,
Sure.
and then season 7, I made the goal. It was like that was towards the end of the year, right? I think, right?
Hmm.
It was like October. I decided that I wanted to make a goal for the year being to hit diamond. It was just something I was just doing casually, right? I wasn't playing
Yeah.
the climber that. I was just like, okay, yeah, I'll play this, I'll do this, whatever. I made the goal to hit diamond because I hadn't hit it for however many seasons, and then I hit diamond, and I was like, okay, well, I reached my goal, so I wanted to be good diamond by the end of the year, and I did it. And then I was like, okay, maybe I'll try and do masters and things like that in season 8. And I think I didn't really play at all, or season 8 I didn't really play at all. I
Why
think
is
a
that?
couple games. I think
Meta?
no, I don't really care about Malga that much, but it was I think a game came out, another game I was playing. I think it was
Sure.
either um, Ark Survival Ascended came out, I think, and I started playing
Makes
that
sense.
with
Makes
some
sense.
friends, and then the holiday time is usually pretty busy for me for family things like that.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense.
So like life just came in the way, and then from there, after that, I started just feeling like I'm at the point where okay, so the players that are in Diamond are technically more mechanically or have better game sense than the plat games, and I don't want to make somebody lose because of me playing poorly or things like that. And that's where I just like, okay, well, I don't want to make the pressure and make it's supposed to be like a time sink, right? It's supposed to have fun, not to
Right.
be not to be like super stressful and work was busy and things like that. So
Of
I work
course.
like 55 hours a week or sometimes now.
Right.
So
Right. Right.
um
Okay.
it was just a really busy time. So and
Okay.
that's why I stopped. And then this
Okay.
season, I've been enjoying this season. I've been mainly playing Pharah and quick play. And I really enjoy the new rework. And I think you do too, but
Yep.
I enjoy that. And before, I think a lot of times it'd be like season 7 and season 6, I was more related to having a mercy pocket because that's what my duo was doing was a pocket, but becoming a little bit more coming too reliant on it that I needed it, and I felt like I needed to do something different instead of just playing with a pocket all the time. So
Interesting. Interesting. The question for me with the whole rank thing is just like you said, it becomes too much of a chore, too much pressure. Do you avoid ranked because of the pressure that you put out on yourself?
yeah,
Or
mainly
is
I
it
would say.
okay?
Yeah.
Because that to me is like the tricky thing. Because it's like if ranked becomes like such just like looming, dominating, terrifying structure where like even the way that you described is like I don't want to be the reason that my diamond teammates lose, right? Like that sounds so dramatic, right? No, I would avoid ranked too if that's how I felt about it. Certainly if I'm working 55 hours a week.
Yeah, and part of it is like I don't. So in my personal life, I usually am the person that has the solution, and I wasn't finding the solution. What I was doing wrong besides like I'm dying too fast or the tempo's not right or
Right.
it wasn't like mechanically things that were the struggle. It was more like I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and I'm making the same
Yeah.
mistake, and I'm still losing the games, and I'm not learning anything from it. And doing my own VOD reviews and things like that wasn't it wasn't like actually helping me at all.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, it's not worth the extra stress. I can go and I can play, you know, 300 hours of unranked play and quick play and have fun versus and play what I want to play versus I feel in comp you have to do this the swapping meta.
You really
Uh,
don't. You really
I
don't.
mean I mean, yeah, I thought you were gonna say that too, but
I'm
sometimes it
predictable.
feels
I
like
know.
I was like, I think you can one trick anybody up to you know GM or champion or whatever it is now, and still be successful. But the punishment of playing someone I enjoy playing and just getting smacked the entire time, and then people are like, "Oh, you rage," and you turn off chat and everything like that, but it's there, but it's still the same thing. But
But
it's
doesn't
not
but
fun. It's not fun doing respawn simulator. You know what I mean?
no, I get that. I get that. But is that not your experience in quick play as well? Like
I
when I
think
was
that
playing Pharah, I found that the hit scan swap and the diva swaps happening just as often.
I mean, I don't know. I think in quick play, while the swap is there, maybe it's just like I just need to start playing like I'm playing unranked, but I don't necessarily have the problem with it. And I enjoy playing into those matchups in quick play because it's just practice, right? I'm playing into an unfavorable matchup and being able to ego somebody and kill them as a flying boat is fun.
Yeah. Can I be honest? It sounds like
Mhm.
what you've done is you've taken like, you're like, well, I don't enjoy driving this Honda vehicle. It's like the acceleration's really bad. The steering handles really poorly. And then what I do is I like take like, I buy like some like sticker off of Amazon that says Ferrari, and I just slap it over the Honda like logo in the back of the car, and I say, go drive my new Ferrari. And then you're like, you come away from it like, oh wow, it's like crazy. Like it handles so much more smoothly. It's the same vehicle. Like even what you were saying there, like it feels like, oh, it's just practice. I feel like the pressure's off, and then like I feel like I get like this rush every time I beat somebody who's trying to like counter swap me in quick play or whatever. Same in ranked, same thing.
Yeah, I would agree, but I feel there's more like people care more about it. So I want to support the community in their own climb. You know what I mean? But if I'm playing intentionally, like if I say I'm only going to play Pharah, I mean I don't know. It just seems like I wouldn't want to do that to somebody else. Like I feel like I'm being not a bad gamer,
You're
but
concerned about the ethics of it
yeah,
more so
yeah,
than
being
anything else.
selfish, I guess. Like I'm
Sure,
being
sure, sure.
selfish to the other people that are there. Like I could swap to Soldier, I could swap to somebody else that would benefit the team more.
Are you
And
sure? How good are you at Soldier?
I had last season I had a 76% win rate on Soldier.
On how many hours?
Like on total,
Yeah.
70 hours.
Okay, so it's a decent swap for you, but you want to just one trick far and competitive.
No, I don't really care. Like I like it doesn't like I play Bar, I play Soldier, I play Bastion.
Sure, sure.
Uh, like when the Hero Mastery thing was big, I was playing Sojourn a lot because of the Hero Mastery thing. But and then like if I play tank, I'm playing like Ramatra, Sigma, Junker Queen, things like that.
Do you understand Pharah enough to be able to provide some sort of counterplay adjustment for the people that swap versus you, or do you feel
Uh,
totally helpless?
I think that in general, I feel like I'm able to adapt to that play style of someone like playing cast, not playing open spaces, not
Mhm.
not sitting there in front of as much as I possibly can. And I think some of the VODs, there's a few ego plays
Sure.
where you think that you're gonna beat them, and maybe I did win the duel, but I still died. So then at that point, it's still a waste, right?
Sure, sure. Okay, I won't push it any further, but I do think that you are. Here's the thing: is like if you are, let's say, plat 1 diamond 5, and you have a 50% win rate with Pharah. Sometimes you struggle, sometimes you do well, sometimes you play well, sometimes you don't play so well. You are playing no better or no worse than anybody else at that rank, and you are not the reason that anybody else is struggling to climb. Mathematically, strictly, factually true.
Yep.
Right? At worst, you're going to get in one guy's game, not be able to adjust versus hit scan, and then lose the game. One game. One game. Worst case scenario.
Mhm.
So I encourage you to do what you enjoy, do what makes you feel comfortable. But I do feel like there's a little bit of a brick wall internally about there's this mindset shift between like, oh, I need to treat competitive and like I don't want to throw the answer this and that. But the reason why we treat competitive with such flippancy is not because not competitive is not important. It is important. It's important to try and competitive, but it's not important to perform in competitive.
Yeah, that's
Performance
fair.
is what happens when you practice. And if you're practicing in unranked, the nature of people taking it a little bit less seriously, which is ironically why you play it in the first place. And then also the fact that Jillian matchmaking is not quite as good. You're going to spend more time in Q. You talked about respawn simulator. Well, how about Q simulator? Because you're not doing both attack and defense when you're in quick play.
Yeah.
That's what allows the practice quality of competitive to just be slightly better than quick play. So can you get good in quick play? Yeah, sure, you can. But I don't think that that's necessarily the most efficient way to improve. Now, if the pressure that you put on yourself is so much so that competitive is no longer an efficient way to improve either because it becomes something that you dread and it's distracting and frustrating and tilting, then yeah, maybe it's not right for you. But that is not something that we just want to be like, okay, that's just how it is. G go next. Honestly, that's a weakness that you have, frankly. And
Oh,
I
I would
think
agree.
I think that's something that long term you would want to work towards. You need to develop some confidence in your ability to counterplay, counterpick, and you need to develop some confidence in the value that you bring to the table, even when you're not performing on surface level as well as you'd like. You're still providing value.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
mean, you're always your worst critic too. So it's like,
that's
okay,
it.
like, yeah.
That's it. That's it. I mean, did you see any of my Pharah grind on stream at all?
No, I didn't.
Okay, there was a lot of feeding, and I won like 14 games in a row because
Yeah.
I had the Pharah debuff plus the streamer buff, so everyone's focusing me 24/7 anyway. And
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, well, I'm not hitting any shots, but I'm just going to distract and live as much as I possibly can and see what I can do.
Yep.
And we won a lot of games, so it didn't feel all that great for me, but I kept piling up the W's, and it was a competitive and challenging experience. I felt like I learned a lot, and I wasn't too worried about it.
Mhm.
So that's taken me a little while to get there mentally. I had a lot of ranked anxiety when I first started playing, like a lot of ranked anxiety. I remember back in 2017, I legitimately would not queue up more than like 2 ranked games a week, and I had to have perfect comms, hard shot calling, perfect energy, slept well the night before, had to like tell everybody to get in the voice and tell them and I was like, it was literally, it felt like I was going to war, right?
Mhm.
I just didn't enjoy the game as much as I do now because of that. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Take that and chew with that as you will. But I encourage
Yeah.
that to long term be a solution if possible.
Yeah, I mean, I love the game overall. Like, I enjoy playing it. It's just, I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Like, I also don't like it doesn't matter, but it's like the rank doesn't matter, but it's just like a piece.
Yeah, of course.
Just
The
like
rank, we want the rank not to matter, but it does.
yeah. Yeah, you want to see big number, or different
Yeah.
color or anything like that, and
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
my one of my buddies who is top 500, and he's like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. Like, just don't worry about that. Just play, have fun." It's like, okay, yeah, okay. It's like it's like really easy to say that when your number says you're on top 154 or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's like
Right.
it's
Exactly.
it's the same mentality thing. It's all mentality, but I guess part of the reason for the coaching is to see is it is there a core fundamental that I am failing at, or is it just is it lack of experience? Like, I only have like 600 hours in the game,
Hmm.
less than 200 hours in competitive. I might get 197, but is it because there's people that are playing thousands of hours on Cass or Widow or Ana, whoever it is, and I just don't have that much time. And like I mean, I still don't know all the maps like by heart. I know where generally most things are, and so I don't know if it's me not fundamentally knowing something, or is it if it's like just work more at it type of thing.
Mm-hmm. 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 I guess for you, it's like when you're getting this coaching session, what's the short term goal here? Why are we here? To understand those things better, I assume, to like kind of get that filled. But like in terms of you walking away from the session, what's going to be like the process of application like the next week? Like how are you going to approach ranked? Are you going to be applying these things in quick play? Are you going to play a couple of ranked games? Do you just want to have some more peace of mind about the general game?
I think that if we have like action plans in places, like, okay, you need to focus on these key areas, like you need to focus on the tempo, you need to focus on being more where your team is, you need to focus where when you're going in, and I would just at that point, I would just go into ranked and just say, whatever, it is what it is. I'll just deal with it and just not think about it.
Sure, sure. Okay, sounds good.
Get my jade weapon or something like that, right?
Yeah, of course.
21st season.
Yeah, yeah, I understand. I understand. Let's keep looking here. So, diamond, general improvements, goals. We talked about improvements, seeing what your skill ceiling is. Well, that's what I'm personally failing at. My time is rather limited. What I can play and have some rankings I would like to perform consistently. Yeah. So, I will say for skill ceiling, like the number one thing for skill ceiling for you is going to be your ability to approach ranked in a healthy fashion. That's by far going to be your biggest hindrance in terms of long term improvement. So if you want to know what your ceiling is, find out how you can improve your rank anxiety. If you improve that,
Yep.
then we know what your ceiling is.
Yep.
Okay. Now, maybe as you said, understanding more of what you're doing will allow that to you to have less ranked anxiety because there's more confidence about like, oh, I can approach each situation as it needs to be approached.
Yeah, and I think part of it is too, like, is it the the Reddit meme is it's counter swatch or counter watch or whatever they
Yeah,
say.
yeah.
And is I think it makes more sense for me to just play what's comfort, even if it's not meta or if it's not what is needed. But when someone's in there, you need to switch to this person here, and you like tilting your team. I think is you already lost at that point, right? Like
True.
even if you're sitting there tilting the entire team, and I'm just like, oh, I'm only gonna play Widow or whatever, and it's like I'm not a sniper map. When you're
True.
not performing, then you're gonna rage your tank and your supports, and then it's just like you lost already at that point, right? Like there's
True.
no recovery there.
But
Is that just a loss?
it's part of it's just like a loss of part of it's like trying to treat. Let me give you a good analogy. Part of it's like trying to think of like, oh, I'm going to be the guy that's going to go out there and I'm going to solve rage driving and drunken driving by myself. I'm going to go out there and fix the problem. You're not going to fix the problem. You might think that, oh, by being more flexible and being able to counter swap and counter pick and even just adjust your, like that's going to, even if you understand like how to counterplay people as Pharah, like that's not going to solve the problem. I mean, you've been in the ranks, right? I've been through the ranks. I remember I was a hard in the voice guy from bronze all the way up until like plat or diamond. And it doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter if you swap to what they want them to swap to. If you perform, it doesn't matter if you counterpick or counterplay. It doesn't matter if you encourage. It doesn't matter if you say nice things. It doesn't matter if you say nothing at all. People are going to be ugly, and there's nothing you can do about it. You cannot fix them. You cannot fix them.
It's true.
So to you at that point, it's like, well, then I'm scared of like, no, ignore them. They're irrelevant. They're as irrelevant as the car driving by outside your window right now. You have no idea who's in it. You don't care. It doesn't matter. It's not your responsibility. Your only responsibility is to control what you can guarantee can control, which is yourself, your attitude, and you making sure that you're not one of those guys, right?
Yeah.
And the thing is that like people are always like concerned about the percentage of games. Like I even have like ball OTPs that I coach, and they're like, there's like a certain percentage of games that are just instantly lost because my teammate is tilted that I'm on ball. And I'm like, yep, you're gonna have to learn to deal with that. It's unfair, it's annoying, but you're gonna have to learn to deal with it. Don't try and negotiate with them. Don't try to make them happy. Don't try to say nice things. Don't say anything. Do your job. Go next. Yeah. It doesn't matter if like, oh, maybe I win this one game because I said something positive. Like I see these tips and tricks on like Overwatch University. Oh, if you have a teammate that like is flaming you, then like this is some psychological trick. I'm like, they're not worth it. It's not worth your time. Yeah, it's not worth your time. Exactly. This isn't like some like guy in the workplace that's like giving you a hard time that you're going to see every day. You're going to see this person once, and you're never going to see them again. They're not worth your time. Yeah. It's not worth the effort. And I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on that instead of just like put your head down, do your job. And I know maybe that's a little bit cynical, but I'm all for giving people time when they're worth their time, but people that are in ranked are just not worth their time, frankly.
Well, that solves that problem really easily.
Yeah, I mean, well, in theory, it's the answer is simple, but it still can be easier said than done. When it comes to like, oh, just ignore what they say. Well, yeah, that's hard to do. We're not hardwired for that. We're not hardwired to just ignore the noise. That's not human nature. Like that's a new social media thing where like we actually have to because the amount of people that are talking to us all the time. So for me, I usually just go the easy way out. I do exactly what you do. I don't have my chat on. If I'm not interested in what my teammates have to say, I don't have my chat on. I don't have my voice on. I don't have my chat on. I don't care. I do my job. I pay attention to what my teammates are doing so that I'm a good team player, but I don't care what they say. Yeah. So do I miss helpful calls by doing that? Yeah, but I miss a lot of distracting calls. I don't have a fragile mental, but I don't have time. Mm-hmm. So that's true. Tangent aside here. Okay. What do you feel is holding back you from improving? I believe my main issue is game tempo and being overly aggressive. So talk to me about game tempo. What does that mean?
Just like knowing when to go in. I will like, so my intuition of going in, I guess is, so I feel it's the right time to go in because the DPS is out of position or the support's out of position or whatever. But if I engage too quickly, then, and my team's not there, then essentially I just get turned on and die.
Sure. So you're saying tempo not as like a combo of necessarily like, oh, we're fast versus slow, but more in terms of like I see these opportunities, but obviously I can't capitalize off of those opportunities if my team isn't there. Like when is it a priority for me to play around cooldowns versus when is it a priority for me to play around my team? I'm assuming that's the case.
Yeah. So it's exactly like like even if it's the right call, if my team's not there, then it's the wrong call immediately. Like, and that's the part of like maybe my game knowledge is higher or is better or different. I have a different perspective of what the field is like. But if I'm engaging incorrectly, then no matter if my entire team is out of position, it doesn't make my position any better because
I understand.
I'm out of position because they're out of position as well. So it's not like it's like the play should be to do this. Well, yeah, the play is to do this, but because your team is sitting in spawn, that's not the play anymore.
I
You adapt
understand.
into that stuff.
I understand. I understand. We'll talk about it. Generally, playing around your team is more important than even cooldown opportunities.
Yeah.
But we'll go over that, I'm sure, later.
Because like
Okay.
the awkward stances, oh, off angle, off angle, whatever, and it's you get into that. Okay, I'm an off angle, and you're like, well, I'm off angling, and then you're like, oh crap, I off angled it so much that I'm by myself, and I just got turned on undead.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I'm the easy pickings.
Yeah. 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 Okay. Makes sense. Makes sense. Okay. And then you also said being overly aggressive. I assume that's similar to like what you were just talking about.
Yeah, like so the trading the side of things of okay, so in a lot of the pieces, like I don't in the beginning of getting to the point, I'm not blowing all my Pharah cooldowns to get to the point faster because I want to. I typically will use them to be aggressive immediately and to um, ideally give it a better edge. And
Yeah.
I found more often than not, if I use my concussive blast for movement, by the time I'm into the fight,
Mhm.
it's on cooldown, and I need it to execute on them, or I need it to do a different movement or do something else and things
That
like
makes
that.
sense. That makes sense. That makes sense.
Because like
Okay.
I'm gonna come out of the gates like as I don't think that typically people expect the immediate aggressive, and if I'm playing on point that day and I'm hitting my shots, then 2 shots in a custom blast, they're dead. And I usually start the fight off quickly and well. But so like just overall, just okay, like when you mentioned the 1v5 thing, it's like how could you 1v5? Well, I might try, but it's not the
Right.
right play. But I feel that okay, these people aren't playing that well or whatever. I'll just ego them and be like, okay, yeah, I'm better than
Right.
they're playing. I'm gonna go really aggressive, and then I'll probably either get a pick or I'll die or I'll just you know. So I think that's
Right, right,
mainly what
right.
it is.
Okay, okay. Well, a lot of that might just come like I think like when you talk about it's fun, kind of funny. It's like people will not necessarily you, but like a lot of people will have like these like vague like tempo or too aggressive or whatever. And usually, almost without exception, it always comes down to like something like really fundamental. Like they're just not paying attention to your team. Like when we were talking about tempo, like that was more of what we were talking about. And then in your case with you're being too aggressive, it just is probably just cooldown management,
Mhm.
specifically your concussive blast and dash, right? So what I want us to be very deliberate with here is I want us to be very deliberate with when we're looking at things that we're not coming up with like these vague philosophical problems and these vague philosophical solutions. I want them to be very objective, straightforward. Because this is what needs to be done. That's it. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? That's all
Mhm.
there is to it. Okay. Any questions before we get into gameplay here? I think I'm good from your form. Oh. How's your sleep?
How was my sleep?
Yes.
Um, like last night I got 8 hours of sleep, 9 hours of sleep.
All right. Is that a
But
consistent thing? 8 hours?
you sound like my doctor now. But no,
Yeah. Yeah.
I would say like 5 to 7 hours is my average.
Yeah, average worker. I
Yeah.
get that. I get that. I mean, I've been there many times in my life, but it is the most important thing when it comes to mechanical capabilities, reaction speed, ability to learn, emotional regulation in terms of like frustration, distraction, whatever. So keep that in mind. I know you talked about like these 55-hour work days and so on, or work weeks, but I would rather, even if you could just make it like you said, like 5 to 7, improving that from 6 to 7 is like one of those small adjustments we talked about with major like ramifications long term, not only for your health but your ability to learn and perform at
Yeah.
everything, Overwatch
I
and
would I would
non-Overwatch related.
I would agree.
Okay, I would put
Yeah.
that as a priority. Okay, any other questions?
I don't think so.
Okay, you want to shoot me a code?
Um, sure, I'll do this one here.
There was the apocalypse this past week with the new patch. Cowboy Bebop thing, which I'm not familiar with, but
It's a good anime.
All right.
It's a good starter anime if you're into.
Fair enough. So anyway, long story short, the apocalypse here because every single streamer and YouTuber has been getting DMCA'd because of the menu music.
Really?
Yes.
That's funny.
Which has been pretty funny. And it's not just you have to splits the monetization, right? It's just straight up no monetization at all. You get no money, no nothing. So it's been rather funny on Twitter and some of these Discords have been people freaking out and having to sort out all these details because no money.
Yeah.
Okay, Pharah. I'm excited. Is this Pharah all the way through?
I don't think so. I think I swap once. Let me see what my notes say. This was no, I swap.
Okay.
In the second round.
Okay. Do you want to look at the swap as well, or just want to stick with the Pharah?
It doesn't matter. Whatever. We have 45 minutes, so yeah.
Okay. Sounds good. So, what is your understanding of Pharah so far?
That's more like before it was stay in the air, shoot at people, and now it's more like divey, assassin-y type of thing. I play her now differently than I used to.
Sure.
Like how you're staying in the air forever.
Sure.
I feel that like the concussive blast changes was terrible for my before you only used to use it for movement, right? And now you have to use it. You can use it for movement, or you can use it for executions, or doing the alley-oops types things.
Yep.
I typically just now off angle all if I possibly can, and try to get more benefit from it.
Yeah, sure. Okay, sounds good. So there's the options of how you move in position. One thing I'm going to teach you right here is we're going to go over relevant techs.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of relevant techs. We'll go over them as they demonstrate themselves in the VOD. The first of them is going to be your rollout tech, which is going to be you're going to use your concussive blast, dash, and jump jet all at once. So you're going to rocket jump like that. You're going to concussive blast with your E. You're going to dash, and then you're going to jump jet. So it's going to look like this. Like that. All three cooldowns at once. That's your spawn rollout. Reason why go ahead.
I was like, I used to do that, but then I felt like I was getting to positions faster than I needed to be. And
sure.
then I if I needed my concussive blaster, if I guess just pure timing though, if it takes 8 seconds to get to where I need to be anyway, then there's no harm in using it, right?
That's it, exactly. The other reason why I like to use jump jet as well is because it gives you more fuel. More fuel means that you move faster because fueling, hovering is moving faster, right? So, and generally because it is a longer cooldown, but because I find it the least important cooldown in terms of rolling out initially, I generally don't miss it. If you want to be conservative, then you can just do your concussive blast lunge with the rocket jump. So you could just go,
Yeah, and I was reading the other day was that you can do apparently at the timer of 8 seconds, you can do your jump jet, and then you'll have extra fuel to start the fight with the cooldown and fuel being available. And
sure. I don't know if I would dig that deep. I mean, it's good to know, but I don't know if I dig that deep. But you do need to I think what you said is important. I don't want to get there so early. What's the point? But I do think that if you're even looking at the composition there that you were running, you're going to have people that are ahead of you. You never want to be behind as far. There's no reason for you to be behind. You at least want to be on top with them. So even if you don't do necessarily this rollout here, certainly you want to at least use your two cooldowns that you're going to have for sure.
Yeah.
And then still have your jump jet or whatever. But just a small thing, but I would it's one of those things that's going to be relevant every single time that you play Pharah. So let's make sure you nail that one. Yeah. Have an interesting map for Pharah, for sure. Lots of angles available, kind of short, but yeah. Look at your comp, right? You're running ball, right? Really no excuse for you to be here late. You could already be here.
Yeah.
So, my biggest weakness with Pharah was my concussive blast usage. I felt like I was just not nearly deliberate with how I wanted to use it. And even when I would use it correctly, I somehow just did not place it where I wanted to place it. I'm going to be really hard on you with that, because the more I played Pharah, the more I realized that was a weaknesses that I needed to have addressed, and I just didn't. So for example, right here, you're taking an aggressive angle off of your ball. You have your dash, so you're going to be a little bit more greedy with your concussive blast, correct? So that you can maybe get a boop kill, right? This is not good. This is a silver mechanics mistake. You just missed. You just missed, right? Now, I'm making fun of you, but I did this so many times, it's not even funny. But there's no excuse for that. Where would you have placed this concussive blast optimally?
Probably to hit the Doom off, or a dash. I probably should have dashed over and then angled it so I could have bopped the whole team because the ball was about to swing.
Sure. I would honestly just have said just to put it right behind the Symmetra right here. If you could have flown just a tiny bit, like caught the ledge here and just put it right here, either the Symmetra dies off the map or she dies because she's directly in front of your line for your rocket, right? She has no cover. Like knocking her out from cover here or off the map is unbelievably important. This isn't just like, oh, that would have been no, it's a kill or it's no kill. If you hit the con, you get the kill. If you don't hit the guy, you don't get the kill. That's it.
Yeah.
I would also have immediately would have dashed as soon as this flight had failed, because now this is not really where you want to be. No cooldown, no fuel in front of the Doom. Probably just dash back to your team, because that should have killed you.
He should have killed me. Yeah.
Good angle here, and then even here, it's remarkable how easy it is to mess this up. So I want you to tell me what your combo should be here. Mechanically coach yourself. The angle's good. The timing's good. Now what?
I think I probably should have dashed on top of the Symmetra and then combo them with shoot, conk, shoot.
You could have, but that's very much an all-in, right?
Well, there's nobody there though, right? So it's just
potentially there is a Sojourn over here. So I'm going to pretend that you were tracking the Sojourn, that you're going to play this more cautiously. You could have dashed in and then gone for it. Let's say you didn't dash in. Regardless of whether you dash in or not, what's the combo here?
I mean, I don't know that. I don't know.
Sure. Shoot. Shoot, conk. Shoot. Don't forget your conk is independent of your rockets.
Yep.
Right? So there's this awkward delay here where you shoot and then you conk and then you shoot when you should have been doing both. You see that?
Yeah.
And then not only that, but you place the conk. Nice job. You place it where you wanted it to be, right? Because it did damage and it booped her closer to you. And then somehow you missed the rocket by like 10 meters, even though she was closer to you. And then you miss it again, then you miss it again, and then you end up having to dash out. It's inexcusable. You have to hit that combo. So the reason why I'm, again, beating on you for this is something that you need to practice. You need to be very deliberate with your conk placement. And then I need you to be very deliberate with your conk combos.
That's fair.
Really like the positioning, though. It's good. Now, what should you do now?
What should I be doing now? Like, I mean, probably separating the Life Weaver from further, but...
Why is the Life Weaver the priority?
Because he's a support at that point, and he's by himself.
Not necessarily. Compare the difference. What's the difference between Symmetra and Life Weaver right here? Right there.
That she's even more out. She's by herself. I mean,
well, so is the Life Weaver, right? They're both by themselves.
Symmetra's hurt when I hit her when she's there.
She's full HP still. Who's closer here?
The Life Weaver.
So you shoot the Life Weaver. That's it. That makes sense?
What, instead of going backwards to kill the Symmetra?
Yeah, shoot right here. He's right there. Kill him. Now, how would you approach this 1v1?
Probably missed it. I mean, I think that...
Give yourself some credit. You would have hit the rockets. Trust. What would you have done?
I think I would have dashed on him, hit him a couple times, and then looped back around.
Sure.
And I think that he's a little squirrely to kill. Confirm your kills on him, but get him out of the fight anyway. And then it becomes a 4v5.
Sure.
If he's out of the way.
Oh, what about your conk? You have both your conk, your dash, and your jump jet. So I want you to coach yourself through the approach here. You're right here. What do you do?
If I was right there, dash at him, shoot him, conk him at the same time, and try to instantly kill him with a combo.
Yeah, shoot, dash in, shoot, conk, shoot. Works for me. And then you still have your jump jet to move around as necessary with the more fuel. Nice. Okay. Okay. Any questions so far?
No.
Okay, I'm reading you the riot act just a little bit here, but I want you to be thinking about the key thing with Pharah is that like you talked about like you have to dive position, right? Like these more aggressive off angles. But the other thing with new Pharah is because you have those more aggressive positions, you are not allowed to turn your brain off when you're taking these duels. Mm-hmm. How does a tracer take a duel? How do you use your blinks? How do you use your recall? You know, there's a lot of like decision making and strategy in that. Same thing with Genji, same thing with Sombra, same thing with anything that's going to be taking those flanks. Pharah, you have this mindset where you just kind of like blindly throw rockets at stuff and stuff just kind of dies or it doesn't die. And that's pretty much how you play Pharah, right? That's not the case anymore. You have to actively take, like, for example, when I'm looking at the Life Weaver duel earlier, there was a real discussion to be had about whether you should aim for his feet or dash in and aim for his body. Mm-hmm. Would you even go for splash damage? Is he close enough to just hit directs? What if I dash in? Should I dash in? Would I be isolated? Should I save my conk to disengage then if I dash in? Right? There's like all these like thought processes that you have to go through, and so there's not no more, but there's a lot less just turn your brain off and spam at a red or blue target. Mm-hmm. Now they're on Echo. Nice shot. What was that conk for?
I don't know. He was on cooldown or what was available, but
yeah. Trust me. And again, I'm throwing stones in glass houses here, right? Every single thing I'm flaming you for, I've done many times. But you know, would have been nice to have conk here. You know what I'm saying? That's a kill right there. You missed.
Mm-hmm. Well, with my accuracy so far, it's not.
Well, true. But even with your accuracy, like how low is she? I'm guessing 25. 45, 15. Okay, yeah, that one hurts. Let's look at this one. I get it. It was close. You also pushed her out of position. You just didn't quite hit the follow-up. That's all right.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about this. How do you play versus an Echo Sojourn? How do you, like, you're hitting directs here and all that stuff, but I'm sure you've had maps and matches where this felt really bad. So how do you play this?
How do I play against an Echo? I mean, I think that it's just like you have to hit her. Like you can't. The duel with her is not winnable if you're and basically save the cooldowns for similar to like if you're playing Ash with like Coach Gunner, your grenade or dynamite, I guess. But typically with Echo, if the Echo is really good, then I would say that it's typically I have to have cooldowns, but if I'm able to hit them consistently, or at least put them out of position with a concussive blast that my team can follow up with it, then I'm successful at that point.
Yep. Something to consider. Sure.
I hate Doom players, so I'll always take the...
Understandable. You know, again, here, look at your concussive blast here. I actually think the concussive blast was okay because you go shot, shoot, conk. You see, you got the combo right. Mm-hmm. But with where the conk is shot, where is she going to go?
The other way, instead of where my shot is.
And do you see where you aimed where she was, not where she was, but not where she was going to be. Mm-hmm. Right? And that tells me that there is not enough cognitive thought process going to this concussive blast. Now, this happens very quickly, so you're going to need to practice this one a lot. But like it's funny, you're actually surprising yourself. You're like, oh, I booped her. Look at that, I missed my shot. Right? That needs to not be the case.
Yeah, that's fair.
You're the guy that used the cooldown. You should know. Like even that, right? Like even this concussive blast. What was the purpose? Was it just to disrupt his initial power punch? Mm-hmm. Okay, was that purposeful or just it happened to work out?
No, it's typically I'm purposely using them, but it's more just purposely using the cooldown than it is like getting, I guess, the exact value. I guess.
Right. So my point was like not that you accidentally hit the button, but did you boop the Doomfist on his punch on purpose?
Yes.
Okay, then you're good to go.
I would say that. So when I'm just there spamming lines, I'm using everything because it's I guess free in my opinion. But like I see what you mean by being more deliberative with everything. But.
Right. It's such an important cooldown, right? Like you talked about even like knowing how to like disengage and engage with it. But even when we're using it offensively, you're using it for like random damage rather than actually like using it to line up your shots or displace people.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
Will they even touch?
No.
Barely.
Barely in.
Sure. Yeah, I mean this is over. Okay. Any questions so far?
No. So far it's just the same. It's just need to be less spammy, more deliberate about things.
Yeah, more deliberate. Well, okay, that's vague. That's vague. What needs to be less spammy?
Like where I'm placing the shots, like I need to think about what I'm doing before. It's like, oh, I have 6 rounds in my gun. I'm just going to shoot it off repeatedly until I have to reload and then do it again and then keep doing it over and over and over.
Sure. So more deliberate specifically with your shots.
Yep.
Okay. Like specifically your duels, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then also more specific with your concussive blast. Those 2 things in particular, right?
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I think this is another situation where rollout 100% certain. Yeah. You need to be using that concussive blast out.
Yep. My note on this one I actually had was we won the second round, and I just wasn't doing anything this round here. So
okay. I would also say rollout wise, this is probably not the best side for you to roll out on, at least to start. I think you can get a lot done playing the vertical cover of here. Even if they do go jump pad, you can kind of play ring around the rosy and then concussive blast them off the high ground as well. Mm-hmm. Something to consider. Because you end up rolling out right and then going 2 left, right? So it's like, hey, we almost had something here. A little slow in the delay there, so it's not like perfectly fluid, but whatever. And then you're like, oh. And you almost use the concussive blast appropriately. But you know what? I'm fine for this. This is better, right? Because you use a concussive blast and actually almost got a kill out of it, or you ended up indirectly getting a kill out of it, right? That's good. It didn't feel like, oh, it's just random. Like you used the... It might have been an accident that happened, but we'll give you credit for it, all right? So, besides that, I think the only reason that you die to this Orisa is because you have no cooldowns. And you have no cooldowns because you rolled out here and then transitioned all the way to here, and so then you had nothing left for the Orisa at that point. So.
That makes sense.
Nice play. Unfortunate roll up, but nice play. Same thing here, obviously. Let's see what we got here. Again here, if you're going to concussive blast this Orisa, where does the concussive blast need to be?
On the other side.
On the other side. Your crosshair is on her body. This is never going to work. That would have been a kill.
Yeah.
Sure. I like it. Look at you go. Popping off. Beautiful. Now what?
Now I just die. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, sure. But where would you like to go? Optimally.
I think above them.
Sure.
Or into a position where I have some cover against the echo that's going to eventually turn with that pocket, I think.
That's true. So somewhere here or somewhere here. I actually don't know if I want you to be here. Because even though it's technically above them, it's the lack of cover here that makes it hairy. That's the problem here. That's it. You just kind of lost track of the echo and then placed yourself without cover, then died instantly. That's all. Okay. Same thing with the rollout. Won't be a rollout. I won't beat a dead horse here, but that is a major problem.
Understood. I'll stop being conservative with rollouts and greedy with or not.
Yeah, that's
conservative.
it. That's it. Let's just be calculated. You know, if am I going to need the conk here in like 2 seconds? Okay, then save it here. But sure. Okay,
It's not every time.
sure.
So the story I tell myself that I'm going to need it. I
Right,
don't use it
exactly. Same thing here, positioning wise. Here, I think this angle is available to you. But even if we don't consider your positioning, where do you want your concussive blast used here?
If I was in the air to boop the tank away from their team,
Right.
or use it to position myself forward to give it.
Sure, you got it. You see how often that ability is used with almost no purpose and no placement.
That's fair. And then here,
Obviously, this is just completely abandoning cover entirely and doing so without an angle. So I think that this is going to be a wash. And no wonder you felt useless. Sure, I'm down. Also a little bit of psychological warfare as well, as I'm sure you've realized. People get mad at you for doing that, so it's perfect.
Yeah. And I guess it's free technically too, but
You see that conk? What are you conking and why?
I thought I was going to do extra damage and keep them inside the hole.
Sure. Well, it's more damage than that is actually aiming your rocket exactly where you want to aim it instead of just kind of throwing it at the floor. So turning the corner here, blasting, then conking here, right? Because remember, it does the extra damage off of direct as well. Use that.
It does extra damage off of direct? What do you
Yes. So
if I shoot them with a conk and then in the air I hit them with a rocket, it does extra damage?
no, as in if you hit them directly with the conk, it does more damage.
I got you.
So I'm gonna have to wait 5 seconds because I'm an idiot. But yeah, basically it's this
so
amount of damage.
It happens all the time.
Right, you see that? Exactly, good point. So let's see here. 25 damage. That's actually like 30 damage. It's about 30 damage, all right? And that was chip damage on both of them. You see that? Now watch this. Kill this guy. Now watch. See?
I thought I always did the same amount of damage.
60 damage direct.
That makes sense then.
So here's one of two reasons to use your conk. You can use it to displace somebody, to put them in a predictable pattern, so you can hit a direct, right? Or if you just want to do it like you did there with the Orisa, where you're just like, I just want to greed the maximum amount of damage.
Yeah.
Aim it actually at the target.
Yeah, I thought it was 30 the entire time, I guess.
No, it's recent change. Now it's 60 if you hit the direct. So it's an extra 30 damage. It's not a ton, but it's worth it. 100% worth it. So even if you're just using your conk for damage, you need to be deliberate with where you're aiming. Basically, so there's not a single time when you're allowed to be lazy with conk. Let's put it that way. You're always having to aim your conk. All right, what happens here? Nice. Right.
I was swapping.
Oh, okay. I was wondering here. Okay. So do you want to look at your soldier?
If you want, sure. I think that my biggest problem with soldier is that I'm not using the boots.
Sure. Okay. So before we might have more time to look at some Pharah again in a little bit, but before we move on there, let's take some notes with Pharah. What are you seeing so far with Pharah? What needs to be practiced?
Being deliberate with everything. Like, so my conk, with my shots, with like, instead of just being mindlessly shooting things, which it seems like I'm doing, and then roll out. So I think that's just a consistent thing, is consistently rolling out properly, which could enable me to be in a better position, and then also utilizing my cooldowns to be deliberate with them instead of wasting them. Like, just using them because they're there is not, successful. So.
Yep. Okay, and then keep an eye on rollouts, conk, jump jet, dash, etc. for faster contribution. Okay, sound good?
Mm-hmm.
Soldier time. Any questions from me of the Pharah stuff?
No.
Okay, let's keep going.
I'm taking my toaster and warming it up.
Do it. Most important thing with soldier: take a medium range off angle and shoot.
Yeah.
Where should you be? Right here.
I think on the other side.
Over here?
No, on the inside the point.
Oh, like here?
And in going up.
Like here?
Yeah.
Got it. Question is why are you here? If it took you literally less than half of a second to come up with, so why are you here?
That's what I mean. Like, I don't think I utilize his movement enough to position myself. Like, I recognize where I'm failing with him, but I don't know why I didn't move.
But not able to fix it. Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. Well, get there next time, and then we don't even have to have this conversation.
And I could have just been in the other position too, and I would have been.
Sure. Okay, so good kill. Let's see what happens now. Ah, look at that. Look at that. Okay.
The rest of the game, I just stay basically up here the entire time, and then.
Now, when would being up here not be the play?
If I didn't have anybody else with me, or they're taking the point.
Sure. What if the fight was happening over here? Like, let's say it was happening over here, or your team is holding this choke here. Where would you go?
I think I would go take the angle in the building to cut them off and
like
provide.
Here?
Yeah,
I like it. Looks good.
Your job.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's a point where I do that, but
Sure. I think for you is I just want you to be thinking about, like, where's my team fighting? Where's a good off angle for me? And play that position. Even this is okay. Good to me. Good. Run. And there we go. Oh, wait, I gotta see this. I want to see the Kovacs here. Nice. This is a nice, relaxing game.
This game, I was thinking to myself, was like, okay, what am I gonna get flamed for in this game? I was like, I need to play better in this part, anyway, this round anyway.
No, like, there's little individual things here and there, but the most important thing that you have done wrong this game is that you started off without even thinking at all about your positioning, which is the most important thing you could. Even this visor's good. Get her. Force that recall. There it is. Now she's cooked. You win the game. That's it. Give me another code. Good job. Soldier 76. Keep thinking about which angle you need to take. Go ahead.
So this one's note says I won, but it felt loserable, and then I have a code that says felt helpless getting killed, wasn't getting value. I have those two. Which one do you want?
Okay, so you read them to me one more time.
The one I just sent says won but felt losable, and then the second one is felt helpless getting killed, wasn't getting.
Give me the second one. I want to answer the awful things first. There you go. Because anything that feels like you don't know what to do, that kind of goes back even to your rank anxiety, right? Where you're like, I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Like, we want to address those problems, right?
Mm-hmm. It's gonna be rollout again.
Now, of course. So what I'm going to have you try and do here, I want you to think about things a little bit here as if I'm coaching you. So what I mean is I want you to see if you can catch some of the mistakes that maybe you're making about why this game felt helpless.
You're going to say here is that I should have comboed them better or properly instead of missing. Because if I would have shot twice and then hit them with that, then because now I can't hit them because I'm out of fuel and I'm out of
right. Do you notice again that you conk, and then again you're surprised by the conk angle? You see that?
Yeah.
It's not a bad conk in terms of idea.
It's a good to hit with the conk, but I'm not utilizing it to benefit me. I'm using it to essentially I just saved them from their death.
Right. Brilliant job, coach.
Thanks. What do you say, coach mechanics?
Yeah. That one hits a little too close to home. Okay. All right. What do you got here?
This one I'm here. I'm in the middle of nowhere with no fuel.
Where should you have been?
Where should I have been? Anywhere besides there.
That's a cop
I
out.
could have been on the other side of the wall, shooting them from above on a different angle, because then they have to turn. The Rhine has to turn. So not going that way, but going around.
Can I be honest? This position's fine. Just why the frick are you on the roof? Right? Like you got shot here, sit here, chill, and then peek, do some juicy combos here, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. Okay. Coaching, don't let anybody fool you into thinking coaching is a hard job. This is so easy. You know what I'm saying? You're popping off.
I coach my friends, but I'm just like, it's like you said before, coach mechanics. But
yeah.
I'm a better coach than I'm a player.
What do you think? Remember, every duel is cerebral. Is the goal.
I think I should have. I should have shot him twice and then conked him to kill him. But
it's the rhythm of the conk that's weird. It's like you shoot. You could be conking right now, like shoot conk him this way, and then hit the follow up shot on the wall and just kill him, right? But then you like shoot, and then you delay, then you conk, and then you delay your shot, and then you also you just threw off your shot.
Yeah.
The approach is actually fine with dash. It's just like it's like the way that you approach that duel was bad. Nice shot. Okay, well, obviously you're about to easily win this game, I think.
No,
surely.
I don't think we win this game.
What do you think?
Well, I think I need to kill him there.
yes, that is correct. You did need to kill him. That's good. That's good.
But I didn't. I
what
used
did you
the
need to do
combo
differently?
there. Not immediately use the combo. I mean,
or
not be in that position. I could have gone.
So let's stick with the combo for just a second, because you opened up an interesting little bit of a wormhole there. What do you mean you shouldn't have used the combo just yet?
Because it wasn't going to, I should know that it's not going to kill him. So by putting him, so I think you talked about this in one of your Pharah videos, and maybe it wasn't you, I don't know. But basically, it's easier for someone to shoot in an angle that is like at where they're positioned now, because I pushed him out of the way, versus
you knocked him away.
Knocked him away, so instead of shooting him straight up.
Right. So you made it easier for him and harder for you.
Exactly. So I think that if I would have just waited, I would have shot him twice. I know I was out of fuel, but if I waited, shot him twice, and then conked him to kill him.
Shoot conk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or shoot, flick your crosshair behind, conk, boop him forward, then shoot.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit more complicated. One other detail here I want to throw out is you did not need to use your dash here or your fuel. What could you do right now to get the same level of verticality?
I could have shot the ground.
You needed a rocket jump there. Bam. Right here. Shoot, lunge, shoot conk. You kind of see what I'm saying? That would have made this duel feel a lot better, because what ends up happening is you use all your duel and your dash just to get to a position where literally zero cooldowns or zero fuel was needed.
Yeah.
Something to keep in mind. Okay. Again, this whole coaching business is easy. Where should you be?
Where should I be? I think either above him or where I could conk him forward more.
Sure. You're thinking heavily about the Rhine trade here, but remember, if all you see is a Rhine shield, 9% of the time, that's a mistake. Where should you be?
On a different angle.
On a different angle.
On main.
On the flank. Remember, this is new Pharah. You could do this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
You could do this kind of stuff. You save your lunge, you save your conk even here. You could do this. You could cut off the healing to this Reinhardt and do more damage than you would on doing. Yeah. Like, this is just embarrassing, right? Still here. We're 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 stuck, and now the fight's over. Missed your opportunity. Now, you don't even necessarily need to dive the hit scan here, right? Like, that might be something you might look for an opportunity to do. But you could also just sit here. Okay, you ready for this one? You could sit here and shoot the Reinhardt, but you're doing it in the back and not on the shield, right?
Yeah.
You have the mobility, use it.
Yeah, I thought that he was going to come forward more, and I was thinking I was going to swap anyway because I felt like I was getting any value, and here's a wasted.
Sure. Well, you're getting no value because you're not positioning well.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think Pharah is not optimal here, but I actually think Pharah is okay here. There's enough vertical cover for it can work.
I mean, so they were playing Soldier and Hanzo, and it was the only person that was going high ground with me was myself.
Right, but again, you're thinking about things like, oh, I need to go deal with the hit scan by myself. You don't. Remember, you're Pharah. You can also just shoot the Reinhardt in the back, play like a flanker, shoot the Life Weaver, and then have the threat of killing the backline as a. You're still thinking like, oh, I have to hover and spam. But no. You can flank by yourself. You don't need your heal support. You don't even need to deal with the hit scan. Take a flank. Do it. The irony here is that Bastion, I would say, is probably a worse swap. Because while it might help with the Rhine, Hanzo and Soldier are really good versus you, especially when they have high ground.
Yeah.
So Bastion here is like not an awful swap, but you now don't have the capability to take the flanks that we're giving you. So if you don't kill the Reinhardt or stick somebody with nade, I mean, I'm really loving these flanks that we're taking here. I mean, yeah, this is train wreck here. Maybe we could look at a little bit more Soldier then before we played Mystery Heroes. Maybe not. Maybe it's not even. Maybe it's not even worth it. Maybe it's not even worth it. Let's go back to the first. Let's go back to the Nepal code and look at it a little bit more. Is that okay with you?
That's fine.
I think that'd be the most efficient use of our time here. So, based off of what you're seeing from the few fights that we had on Pharah, what was the issue?
This isn't my code.
Oh, well, another Pharah. Oh, is this an old Pharah code? No, it's this one. This one. Too many VOD reviews. Okay. From the Pharah that you saw, what needed to be added or maybe emphasized on the list? Or maybe nothing.
Oh, this is a rollout.
Sure. Well, actually, from the Hollywood game, from what we saw with Hollywood.
From the Hollywood game was the timing of my combos. And
yep.
So again, so just deliberate use of cooldowns and deliberate use of just like aiming.
Yeah.
And also using tech that's there. I think I used the rocket jump with shooting the ground. I'll be honest, like once
right.
Once out of the game. And I have like hundreds of hours I have 100 hours on Pharah, and I don't use it that often.
Use jump.
So I think that's just like mastery of the hero is what it is. Like I just need to use the tech that's available to me, use the things that are available to me to be successful. Instead, I'm using,
or angles that are available too. Remember,
yeah.
Like you have that jump jet, you have that conk now on a lower cooldown, and you just sat there and shot Rhine Shield, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, 100%. I hope you like looked at that and you're like, man, there's a lot under my control that I could have done better. On first point, second point, not even like crazy if I'd hit the combo. Just like if I had just walked on the flank and shot the Reinhardt in the butt cheeks, like that. That would have been. And that's the thing is like whenever it's easy to feel more confident when you realize that things are so accessible. It's not easy to address those, but it's very accessible. Just a little bit of practice, you'll get there.
Yeah, I think it's just mainly so far as what I'm seeing is that I'm only utilizing 5% of the kit.
Yep, I agree. Do you want to look at your Soldier here? Or do you want to get a hammer out a little bit more far? Up to you.
You can just do more Pharah. It's fine.
Okay, we've only got a few more minutes anyway, so let's take a look here. It's kind of interesting here that you go far on this map. I actually think Pharah is pretty tricky on this point. I think I prefer Soldier here, but you can make it work if you do what you're doing right now. So I respect it. Obviously, what's the issue here?
Well, I used my conk for no reason.
Yeah,
and I could have comboed her and should have been dead there instead.
That's it. Threw off your aim. I look at conk as like dash with Genji. It's not exactly the same, but it's like you have this ability that could be like used as a finisher, or it can be used to kind of set up a different angle to finish the kill elsewhere. Like you could dash a different position or dash behind him and whatever. But you don't just like dash for damage. Like you never do that. You always have like it's a finisher or it's something that sets up the next rocket or you save it to get out, right? And this is kind of like if a Genji was here and a Genji threw shurikens at this Ana and hit one and then just dashed, I would be flaming the crap out of this Genji because you would do more damage if you just sat here and dash shuriken. Now, if you did your shuriken, she looks at you and then you dash behind her to juke and then kill her there. There's like some strategy behind it. It's the same thing with Conky. Like, what are you doing this for? Right? I like the play, right? I like the play. It's a cool play. Also, you know, just be a little bit cautious with the cover usage there at the start too, because you need to anticipate that they're all going to look at you because you're in such a crazy, ridiculous flank that you might want to shoot a rocket, see what happens, see an opportunity, push through and commit kill. But again, I respect the play here. I really do. This is exactly how you'd make Pharah work in this map. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say that it was. I don't think people expect it typically, and then
no, I 100%.
If you don't like immediately capitalize on it, then you're gonna get turned on, and then you're be dead.
Yeah, even this is good. Like this is good. Like actually, you could just not even like you could just sit here. You could just sit here. Like what are they gonna do? Like how are they gonna stop you from being there? Summer would maybe throw a translocator, but then you could pretty easily kill her. Like this is good. I respect it. I'd deepen my flank here. I'd find a different flank. You'd even conk like, you know, over here and do something shenanigans over here, right? I think you're thinking about it. Yeah, there you go. Nice. Same thing with the conk there, right?
Yeah, I die here.
Yeah.
Because she gets the... I missed the shot, so I just die.
I would have barraged, frankly. Like I would have already go this. Once I see this here, I think I barrage like right now, maybe even. But I would have died for it, but I'm like, I don't care. I'm taking you with me.
Yeah. It should have been dead, but I just didn't get my shots.
Same thing with the conk there. You actually hit it. Well, yeah, but it's an accident. You're aiming for the Roadhog. You know that this Roadhog's not going to be booped off the map. It's too far, right? Maybe you don't know that, but you should know that. It's not far enough for a tank. So just keep that in mind. Now, let's enjoy this. Whee! You know, if I was a results-based coach, I would have said, nice play. But I'm not, so screw you. You're awful.
I could have gotten closer for that.
That's true.
Both.
That's true. I mean, here, look at it this way. Like, you could just... for the conk specifically, which I'm still hung up on, you know, you could have just shot, maybe see if he gets even a tiny bit closer than conk, or even just conk to reposition on an angle here and shoot from here. But yeah, anyway. Let's stop there. I think... I don't have anything else to add. I feel like we've talked about everything that there is to talk about with Pharah. For you, it's like there's so much to work on here. There's so much to unpack that my biggest concern is that you're going to be a little overwhelmed. So what I would encourage you to do is that, like I do with everybody, is just isolate it. You know, break it down into isolation, because you can work on each of these skills in isolation really easily.
Yeah.
You know? Look for situations in which jump rocket is useful. You know, it's an awkward tech because it's not always obvious exactly when and where it's useful, but it is very useful. It's something that you'll be using dozens of times per game, essentially, if you see the opportunities for it. You know, when the conk thing is obviously huge, cover is obviously huge. Being deliberate with every single duel that you take is huge. Making sure that you're taking good angles is huge. So have fun with this. This is like a cornucopia of things to work on. So have fun with it. Go experiment. Go limit test this more. You know?
That's fair.
Any questions about anything we talked about?
I don't think so.
Okay. No questions? Then we
So what's
will. Go ahead.
What's your process for? So next step is just to practice the things that we're documenting here, and then and then do a follow up, and then go from there.
Yes. Give me 1 second. I'm just letting the next session know that we're running just a few minutes behind. Yeah. So what I would do is I would work at these things in isolation one at a time, maybe go back and revisit them, train it again, message me any questions that you come up with. And then, I think 5 weeks would be a good time for a follow-up. I want you to kind of have to sweat and figure some stuff out on your own. I want there to be a lot of trial and error, and then you just keep me updated with how things are going. And then if any specific questions, you can even message me with screenshots.